Hello and welcome to my channel, Talisman Tarot. In this reading I want to ask the cards and Spirit directly through channeling about what your family thinks about you. And I have 5 groups here that you can choose from. This will be group number 1, this will be group number 2, this will be group number 3, and this will be group number 4, and this will be group number 5. And so I will ask you to use your intuition and choose the group that speaks to you the most, the group that catches your eye, and that group will be your group. And if you need any more time to choose, you can just pause the video. But if you don't need any more time, then you can just head down to the description box below and find the timestamp for your reading and click on that, and your reading should appear in front of you. And yeah, I'll see you in your reading. Hello, group number 1. You chose this Jolanda Tarot deck, and I will start with some channeling, and then I will shuffle these cards for you. Group number 1. So, okay, I'm going to do the channeling now. So, group number 1, the people who will choose group number 1, Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 1? What does group number 1's family think of group number 1? I feel like there's something about you maybe second guessing yourself a bit. I am sensing that some of your family members feel like you should be more confident or be more accepting of who you are, or that you should embrace yourself or the way you are. I feel like there's something about you that's very unique, and I feel like your family is actually supportive about it, even though you might not get that feeling all the time. But most of them seem to be supportive, but they feel like you're not allowing them to be as supportive as they want to be, or that you're not letting them in, or that when you're not accepting yourself truly, they feel like they feel like it's hard to accept you when you don't seem to be accepting of yourself or something. It's like they want you to be happy, but they feel like the way you're living right now, even though it seems like you're living your truth, but they just feel like it's not making you truly happy. And so they want to be supportive. If they felt like you actually were happy doing what you're doing, they would be supportive of you. But because it seems like you're not that happy, they don't seem that supportive. And so I get why you would feel that way about your family, that they are not being supportive enough. But they have the excuse, or that it's because you're not happy with the way you are living, and so they are not happy about it either, because it's not making you happy. So they just want you to be happy. But I feel like for some of your family members, this is more of a way to kind of wrapping their intolerance in shiny wrapping paper, so that it seems like they are doing the right thing by not supporting you because it's not making you happy what you're doing. But really it's just that they are not really as tolerant as they think they are. I feel like it's more that they want you to do something that makes you happy, but what they are actually saying is they want you to do something that makes you happy and them happy as well at the same time. Or like it just seems like there's something that you do. Maybe it's something you do for a living, that your family is kind of like, they want to be supportive, but they feel like you're not that happy with it anyways, so they can safely talk shit about it because you're not that fond of it either. So it's not like they are like, I feel like also maybe some of your family members are like making fun of what you're doing as if that's okay, but I feel like they excuse themselves by saying that, oh, you are always joking about what you do, so they think it's okay for them to also joke about it because you're making jokes, and so they think it's okay for them to make jokes about it also. So I'm also sensing that for some of you, this could have something to do with sexuality, like maybe you're homosexual, or and so maybe you came out to your family, and your family wants to be supportive, but they feel like they have, like, they can be as unsupportive as they like until you are happy with being homosexual, which is kind of silly because you're not going to be happy with it if they keep being unsupportive about it. But they feel like in order for them to be supportive, then you should at least be happy. And if you're not being happy, then it must be the reason why you're not happy must be because you came out. Like that's their logic. Whereas maybe you're just unhappy around them because maybe they are kind of intolerant and make jokes about homosexuality and stuff like that. And so maybe that is why you're a bit unhappy around them. And they take that as a sign that you're unhappy in general, and that it's because you came out as a homosexual or something. If that doesn't resonate with you, then it's the first thing. It's the thing about career. I feel like then it might be that you do something for a living. Maybe you're a tarot reader like me, and so maybe you do that, and maybe your family is not supportive because maybe you don't seem that happy about doing it, or that you might be a bit tired of not getting enough of an income from it or something, and so maybe they feel like they can make fun of it because you're constantly making jokes about not making a good enough income from doing that or something. But yeah, I'm gonna shuffle some cards and see what the cards have to say about this, about your family. So what does the cards have to say? Okay, so with Ace of Pentacles reversed, it feels like your family might see you as someone who's not making a lot of money, that you're doing something that is maybe close to charity because you're doing something where you're not selling yourself high enough, like to high enough of a price. Maybe some of your family members feel like that might be the confidence I felt in the beginning, that maybe your family members feel like you lack the confidence to ask for a higher price, or like in your job, that you're selling your services for too low of a price, or that you have too low of an income for a job that you dedicate a lot of time to. So there could be something about your family feeling like you need a better job, or that you're doing something that you love, but is it really love when you're not getting, or something like that? It doesn't really make sense, like but it's their logic that if it's making you unhappy, financially unsatisfied, then it's not worth it, even though you get a lot of other things out of it. But they don't really listen to that because they are so like they might have a view on life where they calculate happiness by how high of an income you have, and so they think you're unhappy because you're not making as much money as maybe your siblings, or like, even though you might have told your family that you don't really care about money, that it's not the number one priority for you. The number one priority is maybe doing what you love to do for a living. And so but I don't think your family completely understands that concept. But I'm gonna shuffle some more cards and see what more. So, okay. With a 7 of Swords, I feel like your family might see you as someone who's a bit of a, like, that you're cheating life, that you're or like you're not doing exactly what everybody else is doing. You're doing things in a unique way, in your way, and I feel like some of your family members feel like that's not the right thing to do, that the right thing is to do exactly as everybody else is, the thing that everybody else is doing. So I feel like some of your family members are a bit more conservative, and they just want everybody to conform to the same system that they conformed to when they were out working themselves. Like, I feel like this is more the older generation of your family that feels like your job is not a real job, or that you should have a normal job, or that you should do things the right way, like get an education and then get a job and do everything by the book. Where I feel like you have maybe chosen to do things your way, and I feel like some of your family members see that as cheating, like cheating the system, not following the system, and also I feel like your family members might see you as someone who goes from one thing to the other, like that you like to try out new things, that you don't follow a path and then follow that path for the rest of your life. Like maybe you're the type of person who can't imagine yourself doing the same thing every day for the rest of your life. Like maybe you're the type of person who has a lot of different career paths that you're gonna follow in the future. Like, you're not gonna follow one straight path. You're gonna do different things, and I think that is gonna make you happy in the long run, is to not commit and dedicate yourself to one thing, because I think that will just become boring over time, and not make you happy. And I think, but I think your family members feel like people should just choose a path, and then just follow that path all their life until they retire, and so they feel, some of your family members might feel like you have had different projects going on in your life, that you've done different things, and that those different things are like that you should just do one thing. Like, if you're good at painting, I feel like your family members just want you to keep painting and just get better and better and better until you are like really, really good, and then just dedicate your whole life to that, and not not go from one thing to the other, like not also try out writing and also try out being on YouTube or doing videos or like doing films or like writing scripts or something. Like maybe you have a broad spectrum of interests, and I think your family members just don't really get that that's also a way to live. Like that's to try out different things, and there's also a blessing in that, in trying out a lot of different things and having a life that is very dynamic and filled with like, and I feel like you have a lot of different interests and a lot of different talents too, and so not using all your talents is also kind of like that's also like a waste, because you have been given those talents, and so those are gifts, and not using those gifts are a bit of a sin, or like it would just be a waste. I mean, like not trying out everything you're good at, and so I think definitely you should listen to your own intuition and not listen to the advice from your family members, because I don't think they understand your path, and they don't understand your what your intuition. Of course, they don't know what you are guided to do, because they are not you, so they don't get the same guidance as you do, and so they don't know what you're guided to. And I think you should just follow the guidance that you're getting. You should just follow the intuition and let the inspiration lead you to everywhere, and all the interesting new things that the inspiration carries you to. Like, and yeah, with the Two of Swords, I feel like it's just with this card here, like I feel like your family members, like with the owl and the eagle here behind this woman, like it's like you have a family member who is very smart, represented by the owl. Someone who's very logical, very smart, very book smart, someone who has read a lot, very well read, very wise, filled with wisdom and filled with knowledge. And this person is giving you advice on what you should do with your life. And then there's also another person who's also giving you advice, who's represented by the eagle, who is more someone who's more adventurous, someone who is more of a likes to see the big picture, someone who's not very detail oriented, someone who's likely not very logical, someone who's more like a bit all over the place. Someone who's a traveler, someone who likes to try new things, and someone who's very like you. So I feel like this could be your parents, actually. I feel like maybe you have a father who's very logical, and a mother who is very creative and also very likes to try out new things, and likes to be a bit likes to dream and likes to try, and I feel like the weird thing is that like one of them, like the eagle is looking away, the owl is actually having his eyes on you, and so I feel like for some reason the parent, like the gender could be different. Like the eagle could represent your dad, and the owl could represent your mom as well. So it could be either way. But for some reason, the fluke, the creative, the adventurous parent you have is not in the picture, or not really giving you advice, or kind of looking away and not really and so you're kind of stuck with the owl, with the more logical, more like the wise, but also a bit strict parent, who only likes things to be a certain way, and who wants you to take an education very, like it seems like a big thing is that you need to take an education. And maybe it's not that the eagle is not in your life. Maybe it's just that the eagle is kind of looking away because the owl is kind of making the eagle look away. Like the father figure is maybe making the mother figure look away, because the father figure wants you to take an education, and so he feels like she's kind of getting in between his agenda and getting like in the middle, and he doesn't want that. So maybe he has told her to kind of step out of it so that he can make you do what he thinks is best for you. So that there could be something like that. I know it's very it's very particular, and so maybe it's not exactly your situation, but that's at least something that might resonate with some of you. And yeah, and with the fox here, in there could also be a third person, maybe a sibling who's a bit of a fox. So someone who's maybe trying to also kind of get your parents to side with him or her, so that there could be some kind of sibling rivalry here, where maybe your sibling feels like you're getting too much attention, even though it seems like a bit negative attention. This sibling still feels like they are being left out, or that people aren't really paying attention to your sibling. And so it's like there could be some person who is kind of trying to steal the spotlight, or trying to somehow do something behind the scenes in order to get more attention, I think. I feel like this person could be a bit jealous of you. This sibling of yours could be a bit jealous, feels like you're doing something very unique, and you're getting a lot of attention for it. And maybe this person has been doing everything exactly by the book his or her whole life, but somehow that has not led this person to actually get attention from your parents. So even though they've done everything perfectly, they are not really getting credit for it, or they are not really getting the attention that they want from it. So I don't know. But that's all I have for you. I feel like, well, also with the Seven of Swords, I think with the cat here, like the black cat, like from Alice in Wonderland, it's like maybe your family members feel like you're kind of stuck in some kind of imaginary world or some kind of existence that might not exist, or not that you're imagining stuff, I don't think that, but I feel like maybe your family members feel like your livelihood, maybe your job, is a bit like something that is bound in imagination, or that it's not something tangible. It's not something you can hold in your hand. It's not a product that you can show people and say, oh, I made this, and that is what I have been using my time to do. Like, so you don't really have anything concrete to show people. And I feel like some of your family members want some kind of proof of what you're doing, even though you tell them what you're doing, but it's like they don't really believe it until they have it in their hands. Or maybe if you have a YouTube channel, you might have been kind of hush-hush about it. Maybe you have kept it secret and you might not have wanted your family members to watch it or something. But I feel like when you do that, I think your family members feel like they don't really know what it is until they see it with their own eyes. Like, it's not enough to just hear about it from you. They want something, like they want to see it in front of them, and then they can kind of talk about it with you. But until then, they feel like it's like this concept that they can't really grasp until they see it. Yeah. But I think that's all I have for you, group number 1. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 2. You chose this Tarot de Marseille tarot deck, and I will start with some channeling, and then I will shuffle these cards for you. So, okay, I'm gonna do the channeling now. So, group number 2, Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 2? The people who will choose group number 2. What does group number 2's family think of group number 2? What does their family think about them? Okay, so I feel like for some of you, there's something about lacking ambition, or that your family members feel like you have a lot of potential, but you're not really living up to your potential. Like, you're very smart, but I feel like some of your family members feel like you're not using your intelligence, like you're not using your abilities and your talents for anything, or like that you're not you're not making use of your gift to learn. I think your family members feel like you're very good at learning. You're good at gathering information, and you're good at acquiring a new skill. But it's like you have gotten a bit lazy with it, or that's what your family thinks, that you have been a bit lazy, not really using your superpower to actually and to actually learn. And it's just like it feels like your family just sees a lack of ambition here, like a lack of motivation and dedication, that you're not really motivated to learn. You're very good at learning, but you're not motivated to learn something new. That maybe also some of your family members are a bit worried that you're a bit depressed or something, because they feel like the things that you used to be very fond of seems to not be that like you don't seem that interested in the things that you used to be interested in, and that you used to be very interested in learning new things, but now it seems like you're a bit passive about it, or you're not actively pursuing knowledge in the same way as you used to do or something. And there's also something about community college, or maybe some of you are in community college, or maybe you have talked about signing up for community college, and I think your family members somehow feel like that's beneath you, or that you shouldn't settle for less than you deserve, or that it's like you're throwing in the towel or something, that you could do much more than that or something, even though there's nothing wrong with attending a community college, but it seems like your family might be a bit upper class or high middle class or something, where they feel like it's a bit beneath them as a family too. But I'm gonna shuffle the cards and see what the cards have to say. With the Chariot, I feel like some of you might be doing something online for a living, or maybe you do something as a job where you do online things, maybe counseling online, or helping people online through customer service online, or tarot online, or something where you do something online. And I feel like your family sees that as you having two faces, and like one is the one that you have in reality, and the other one is the one you have in like online, that you have an online persona and you have a persona in real life that is very different from each other. That's something that's specific for a few of you. It might not resonate with all of you, but it's like your family members feel like you're a bit two-faced, because you have this that you are so different, maybe towards your clients, or I don't know how they would know that. Maybe it's because you have a YouTube channel, and so maybe that is how they know. But I feel like for others of you, it's more like you're different at work than you are at home, or that you just have a different. Maybe it's also the way you talk about your work. It might make them feel like it's so different, like your personality is so different when you work than it is when you're just yourself. It could also be that you have taken some online classes where you might have fallen in, like maybe you've fallen in love with online classes, or like doing classes online, studying online. Maybe that is what you're doing at the community college. Maybe it's online, and maybe you chose that because you had the ability to do it online, and maybe you have been talking to your family members about what you really like about it, and somehow they feel like that's two different personalities that you're presenting to them. Like the personality that likes online courses might not like might not harmonize well with your normal personality, or I don't know, it's like, or maybe they just feel like it's out of character for you because maybe you're extroverted normally, or maybe when you were younger you were very extroverted, and maybe they feel like it's not typical for you to choose online courses because they would have expected you to want a normal education face to face with a teacher, having social life with your classmates and stuff like that. But that's also for some of you. And yeah, I'm gonna shuffle some more cards for you. Group number 2, about what your family thinks of you. With 10 of Swords, again, I feel like there is some kind of, like, your family sees you as a bit depressed, or that you have changed your personality in the last few years, that you have maybe become more serious and maybe become less humorous, or that you're not interested in the stuff that you used to be interested in, or that you've somehow changed from being maybe social to maybe being more withdrawn from the world, not being as social as you used to be, and that it seems like you're a bit defeated, that you lack motivation to kind of get back to your old life, to the life that you had before, to the person that you were before. And I feel like most of your family just wants you to get back, like get better, like get well again. Whereas I feel like the thing is, like, I feel like they misunderstand something here. Like, I feel like you're much better now than you were before. You weren't happy with the way you were before, and you weren't happy with your life before. And now it seems like you're actually happy with what you're doing, and maybe you have found something that's actually more you, and maybe you have become more your true self. You've become more authentically you in the later, like in the recent years, and I feel like they just see it as you changing, and that you're changing because you're depressed. I feel like you did a lot of things before that should have indicated to your family that you were very unhappy before, and like maybe you were partying a lot before, and maybe that was really unhealthy for you. And so now you have actually become healthy by living a life without partying and stuff like that. But now your family thinks you're unhealthy for not being a party animal like you were before. Like, now they see a problem with that, like you're unhealthy versus before, where you were healthy because you were fun and social and had more interactions with people, but it was in an unhealthy way. So it wasn't healthy for you, but somehow your family has that misconception of it. And also I feel like there could have been something about, like, maybe you suffered from an eating disorder before, and maybe you were like really, really skinny, and it was because you weren't eating, and your family might have seen that as you being healthy, even though it was very, very unhealthy. And now you might have beaten your eating disorder, and maybe now you're actually healthy, and thriving and having a great life, and some of your family members, the toxic ones, feel like you were healthy before and now you're unhealthy, and that you should get back to the way you were before, which was very, very unhealthy for you. But they can't see that now is you're at the peak of your health now, whereas before you were very unhealthy and very unhappy with yourself and very unhappy with your life and really not thriving at all. But it's like, yeah, with death reversed, I feel like, yeah, I feel like you have undergone a transformation, and somehow, and your family is not happy with that transformation. However that transformation looks, whatever it is, I feel like you have transformed for the better. You've put something to the grave, like you've buried something that was making your life miserable, and now all your family members are like moaning over that, now they are they have like grief over that, because it's so sad that this is not a part of your personality anymore. Like they are grieving because maybe you buried the party animal you were like the party animal part of your personality. You might have buried that, and now your family is like, oh, it's so sad that this part of you is not existing anymore. And whereas you're actually celebrating getting better, getting healthy, focusing on yourself. And making it like very hard for you to actually do, like it seems like they just want you to be one way, one certain way, and when you're not that way, it like they can't really grasp that you have changed, that you're a changed person now. They just want you to stay the same, and so you can't really win with these people, because these people just want you to be exactly the same all the time. I feel like there might even have been some kind of issue in the past, like with your dad. Maybe with your dad, it's not, but that your dad didn't really allow you to become a teenager, like go through the transition from child to teenager might have been really, really hard on your dad, because your dad just wanted you to be the same all the time. Like they wanted you to stay your father wanted you to stay a child all your life. Like he didn't want you to grow up. Like, and there might have been some kind of conflict between you and your dad growing up, where you had to kind of make him understand that you are changing and that there's nothing he can do about that, and he can't just force you to stay a child forever. And I feel like that also happened from the transition from teenager to adult. Like it's like your parents and the rest of your family as well, like they really can't really deal with change, like people transforming and not staying the same all the time. And I feel like it's maybe especially your dad who has a really hard time with you changing and going through different stages in your life, like which are normal stages that we all go through, but somehow you're not really allowed to go through these stages because you're just supposed to always stay the same. And yeah. So yeah, but I think that's all I have for you, group number 2. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to book one. And have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 3. You chose this Tarot of a Moon Garden tarot deck, and I will start with some channeling, and then I will shuffle the cards for you, group number 3. And so I'm gonna do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 3, the people who will choose group number 3? What does their family think of them? I feel like your family is like very fond of you. Like you're the centerpiece. You're the attraction. You're what people come to see. Like when your family members travel from far away to meet your family, it's because they want to meet you. It's like you're very popular in your family. Like you're the main attraction. You're the thing that people. You're the person people are most looking forward to meeting. Like people miss you when they haven't been around you for a long time. And I feel like it's because you have a very light personality, very light energy, very good sense of humor, very happy, very joyful, very positive, and you also just exude positivity so that other people also just feel more positive and more optimistic when they are around you. Like you create a lot of joy around you. You make people see the world in a more bright light, and so you just make people very happy and make people feel very warm and cozy around you. Like there's something about your energy that's also very casual and makes people very calm and peaceful around you, and people just feel like they can tell you anything, and like you make them open up, and like you're very good at communicating with your family. Like even the shyest family members feel like you have this ability to just make them talk, and you're just very good at communicating, very good at talking to people, getting all the juicy details out of people, like getting all the dirt and all the gossip, and like talking about like all the juicy stuff, and kind of making light of their existence. Like you're not the type of person who asks about like serious stuff like finances or something like that. Like you're more like you ask people about the fun stuff, like the interesting gossip stuff. Like you seem to be like more of the fun aunt type. Like you can kind of, you're your family members can like rely on. Like they go to you with their problems, like they want to talk to you and get advice from you, but they also come to you for fun times and like cheerful conversations. Like I feel like some of the younger family members of yours, like your nieces and nephews, and maybe your children as well. Like the children of your family, they love to talk to you because you're someone they can talk about their dating life with, or like even though like this is maybe more the teenagers, like but and the children can also come to you if they have a boyfriend or a girlfriend at school or something, like or if there's some kind of romance going on in there, like or like some kind of gossip going on, like in the school or something, like some kind of drama going on in the classroom or something. Like they feel like they can come to you with that because you can talk to them on their level, like even though like you're not on their level, like but you can kind of empathize with them in a way that many adults don't really have the ability to do. Like many people can't really talk to children in a way where it's like you're relating to them, like you remember when you were a child, and many adults seem to forget how it was to be a child. And I think you have a good memory of how you felt when you were a child and what you wanted from the adults around you when you were a child, and you want to be that person that you wanted when, like, be the adult that you wished you had in your childhood, someone that you could have come to. Like maybe you lacked that in your childhood. Maybe you didn't have an adult that you could come to and talk about your problems at school, and problems with bullying, or problems with boyfriends or girlfriends, or like something like that. Maybe you felt like you could never really talk to your parents about it, and you never really had any family members around you that you could have that conversation with. But it seems like you have actually succeeded at becoming that person for the younger people in your family, like the young adults, the children in your family, the teenagers in your family. Like it seems like they all kind of see you as someone they can confide in, and so that is really cool that you managed to become that. And yeah, I'm gonna shuffle the cards and see what the cards have to say about how your family thinks of you. Okay, so with the Hierophant, I feel like they see you as someone who's a counselor, someone who gives really good advice, someone who's like someone who's more of a mentor, like especially for the younger family members. They look up to you. They see you as a source of information. Like you know a lot of stuff. You know a lot of practical stuff as well. Like they know that they can come to you if they have some issues with maybe even legal issues. Maybe you have some knowledge about how the legal system works or something. But also just with more spiritual or religious questions, and also maybe some more moral questions, like what's morally acceptable, or something. Like I just feel like a lot of your family members just like to ask you what you think, like what's your opinion on something, or whether they should do something. Like if they have some kind of big decision that they have to make, they want to ask you about it first, like ask about your opinion about it, so that they know, like, if you don't think it's a good idea, then they really take that to heart, because I think your family sees you as someone who has a very good moral compass, like, you know what's the right thing to do in every situation. With the Ten of Pentacles reversed, I think your family feels like you're very different from them. Like you're very, like maybe your family also feels like you have, like, even though you share the same DNA as them, I feel like your family members just feel like you're from another planet. You're something different. Like you don't even look like them or something. Like you're very different. And maybe your family is also very, like, a bit like not talkative, maybe like non-communicate, like lacking communication skills, or not very good at having conversations, like casual conversations with people. And so maybe they see you as like someone, like they don't even know where you get that from. Like, how have you turned out to be so good socially and so extroverted, when they are the opposite, and you don't get that from them, or something, that you're a very fresh breath of air, like you're something that they need. And it's also, I think that's also why they always miss you. And like, if you're not coming to a family event, I feel like your other family members, they don't even want to come if you're not there. Like, if you're not attending, they feel like you're missing. Like, you're the thing that ties it all together. Like, you're the glue, and like, when you're not there, it all just falls apart. Like, when your family hosts a dinner party or something, they feel like if you're not there, nobody's talking to each other. Nobody's getting the juicy details out of the others. Like, no one is actually saying anything. And so you're always the missing link if you're not there. And so that's why they always want you to be there, be around, because you're the main character here. Like, you're in your family, like you're very important, a very important member of the family. And when other family members invite your family over and you're not there, they get disappointed, because then they know, oh, they are gonna have to have like a whole dinner party without saying anything, and it's gonna be boring. And they want you to be there to crack some jokes and ask questions. I think that's one of the things that people really like about you, is like in your family. Also other people as well, like other people, like at your workplace and in your family, in your friend group, and all of that stuff. Like, people just generally really like the fact that you're so good at asking questions. Like, you're so good at coming up with interesting questions to ask people. Like, you're not just asking about the weather, or asking about like, oh, what did you do today, or something boring. Like, you're asking the juicy questions that, like, you're maybe a born interviewer. Like, you could be a really good interviewer if you're not already that. Like, because I feel like you're very good at getting like a very, like, good at starting a very interesting conversation with other people. Like, yeah. And with the King of Staffs, which is King of Wands, this card here, like, it might indicate that that your family sees you as, like, there's a lizard here on the card. So maybe your family member sees you as someone who's like a bit of a chameleon, like someone who can kind of adapt very easily to your environment. Like, you're maybe also very adaptive, like when plans are changed, like when people change their plans last minutes with you, like if you're very good at just going with the flow and not making a big fuss out of that. Like you just adapt to the new plan, and you're not really that like you don't bother to be mad at people for changing the plan or something. You're just you don't really care. Like if it's one day or the other, it doesn't really matter. And I think your family members really enjoy that about you, that you're so adaptive. Also that you are so good at communicating with different people. Like you're not you're good at like you always fit in. Like it seems like you always fit in a gathering, like in a social like in a group of people. Like if someone throws you into a group of people that you don't know, complete strangers, and maybe people who are completely different from you culturally, opinion-wise, everything, you still adapt to the group. Like you can always find common grounds with everyone. Like you can find some common interest or something to talk about. Like you can always find something to talk about with any types of people. So people can tell that you're like, you always just fit in. Like, and I said alien before, but it's like you're an alien in your family, because your family is not really like that. Your family seems to kind of not have this adaptive ability. So they see you as very different from them, because you're the odd man out in your family, but in every other situation you're not. Like when you're talking, like, and I'm more sensing that this is the nuclear family. Like you're the odd man out in the nuclear family, but in the rest of the family, like your sister-in-law, your brother-in-law, your all that, like those you get really you get along really well with your brother-in-law and your sister-in-law or something like that, and also the rest of the family, and also just at your workplace and with friends and people outside the family. You seem to actually be maybe better around the people outside your family, but your family can tell that. Like they see how adaptive you are around other people. Like you don't just like you're good at communicating with like, and like you can talk to a homeless person on the street and find something to talk to that person about, and you can get like you, whereas your family might be a bit like I don't know what it is, but it's like they are mostly only talkative around each other, like, or and not even that, but compared to how they are around strangers, then they are actually kind of comfortable around their family members, even though they are also awkward around their family members. So it's like, but they see you as a chameleon. They see you as someone who can just get along with anyone and adapt to your surroundings and become like you're just part of the group. Like even if you meet like complete strangers, you just end up like you meet them, like, but very shortly after, it's like you've known them your whole life, like, and they feel the same way. Like so you just have a good way of just connecting with people very easily. And with the Knight of Cups, I think your family sees you as a romantic, maybe a bit of a hopeless romantic, but they see you as someone who's maybe a bit like dependent on like maybe codependent, or like that you might, if you are in a relationship, your family might feel like you're only in that relationship because you don't like being alone or something. But this is maybe some of the more toxic family members that feel that way. I don't feel like it's all your family members, but there is something like some kind of talk like behind, people in your family might talk about that behind your back, that you have a tendency to maybe get too dependent on a partner, or that maybe it would be good for you to maybe be single for a while instead of settling for something that's not up to your standard, or up to maybe your family standard or something. I don't know, but that you shouldn't settle for less than you deserve or something. But I feel like your family might have that thing where, like, they don't like outsiders coming into the family, like in general. So like for your family, like your boyfriend or girlfriend will have a really hard time being accepted by your family, because your family is not very accepting of people coming from the outside world. They wouldn't, like, your parents wouldn't be accepting of their son-in-law or daughter-in-law just because it's an in-law. It's like it's an outsider coming into the family, so there's a lot of pressure on them, because they have to fit in to the family and do everything perfectly to be accepted by the family. And so I don't know if you have like this kind of like a family that's a bit like a mob family, or like that your family is like very close to each other and like very like protective of the family, like the family, the core family, like everybody outside is just an outsider who looking in and can't really be accepted unless they do something extraordinary in order to be accepted into the family or something. So there will always be the pressure, and so I feel like there is some pressure, like if you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or if you have had a boyfriend or a girlfriend in the past, that person might have had a really hard time fitting into the family, and the family and your family members might have been really critical, maybe not to your face, or maybe not to your your boyfriend or girlfriend's face, but likely behind your back, talking kind of negatively about that person, and talking about how that person doesn't fit into the family, or that it's not what you deserve, and that you deserve something better, something that's more similar to the family, or something like that. I don't know. Yeah. But I think that's all I have for you, group number 3. I hope this reading was... Oh, I mean, I'm getting something here about how this could be, like if it's not your boyfriend or girlfriend, I feel like this could be your in-laws, which is also a part of your family. So if your boyfriend or girlfriend has parents, that then those parents, your parents-in-law, might be very critical of you, because mostly just because they are so protective of their family, and feels like you have to be a very certain way, like a very certain type of person to fit into the family. And so the criticism they have on you is not actually personal. It's just that you're not exactly what they expected their son or daughter to find. Like that. Yeah, but yeah, that's all I have for you, group number 3. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 4. You chose the Medicine Woman Tarot deck, and I will start with some channeling, and then I will shuffle the cards for you, group number 4. So, okay. Spirit, I'm going to do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 4? The people who will choose group number 4, what does their family think of them? Okay, I feel like there's been a transformation here. Recently, I think you've transformed and become more your authentic self, or like you've elevated or something. Like I feel like your family can see that you've gone through a lot of growth. Like you've really dedicated yourself to self-development, self-discovery, that you've been discovering things about yourself recently, and maybe you have shared that with your family, and I think your family can really see how you have become wiser and more self-aware, and that you've learned some things about yourself, also about your weaknesses, and what you've been doing a bit, like things that you've been doing that haven't been working out for you, and maybe you have shown your family some big improvement in the way that you're thinking about certain things in your life, that you've gained some perspective, and that you're not doing the same patterns that you used to. Like you might have been stuck in some patterns before, like in some bad cycles, and couldn't really get out of them, and now it seems like your family can see how you've broken out of the cycle, and that you have actually gained control over your life, and the narrative, that you've figured out that you have the control over your own narrative, and that you can write your own story, that you're not a passive a passive member of your life, that you can actually actively make things happen for yourself and change things about your life that you're unhappy with or something like that. And I think your family is very proud of you. And I also feel like your family has been inspired by you, like they see you as a big inspiration for themselves as well. Like they have like all this talk about self-development and self-empowering and self-awareness and all of that. Like I feel like your family is smitten by it, like they want to also not smitten, but what's it called? Like they are. It's like they have gained interest as well in trying to make their life better, like trying to fix some of the things that aren't working for them also, and kind of following in your footsteps and also making some changes in their life. But I'm gonna shuffle now. Okay, so with the Ace of Pentacles reversed, I feel like your family might think that you have a bit of like financial issues right now, and maybe it's because you have been focusing a lot on bettering yourself and becoming a better version of yourself, and maybe that has like put you on a path that might not be financially fulfilling, but might be emotionally fulfilling for you. So you've chosen one path over another. Like maybe you had a very secured path before, like something that gave you stability financially, but you might have chosen to go a different path, a path that contributes more with happiness and joy and passion instead of maybe financial value, but gives a lot of other values to your life, and a different currency, a more you're paid in love and enthusiasm, and I feel like for you, I think you're not insecure about your decision. I think you're owning up to your decision, and you're happy with what you've chosen in your life, and you're not. I don't think you have been thinking of changing your path again to the more secured path. I think you are happy with what you're doing right now, and I think your family is supportive of you as long as you're happy with it. So with the Five of Pipes, which is Five of Wands reversed, I feel like you might have had some conflicts in your life beforehand in the past, like maybe conflicts with yourself, like maybe you got in your own way a lot before, like maybe you did some things that were a bit like self-sabotaging, like maybe you sabotaged some of your victories because you were too afraid of actually making it, or like maybe you tried out something before but then you chickened out on it because it became too real or something. But maybe that was the old you, like maybe you were afraid of getting too much attention, or that you would get too much criticism, or like afraid of just being, or maybe you were afraid of putting yourself out there or something. And so right before you actually, like maybe you started doing something maybe online, like you might have had some kind of project in the past, but then like right before you posted something, you changed your mind because you were too afraid of putting it out there. Like you had the product ready, but you just couldn't like press the button and get it out in the world because you felt like it wasn't, maybe you felt like it wasn't ready, or maybe you felt like it, like I don't know, but I think your family felt like you should just have taken a leap of faith and just done it back then, but that you were sabotaging your own success by not having enough courage to take it to the next level. And I think they see how this conflict is not there anymore. Like you're not always in conflict with yourself. You're not always fighting yourself anymore. It seems like you're playing on your own team. Like you're not, like before it seemed like you were, like your personality was like, or your mind was like two separate people playing against each other in your mind, and like one being like, oh, I want to have success and I want to post something and share something with the world, and I want everyone to see and have joy from my creative product that I've made that would make the whole world happy, or like a lot, or some people happy, or like something, I don't know. And then another like person inside you saying like, oh no, it's too risky, it can backfire, maybe people are gonna be critical, maybe people are gonna be nasty about it, and maybe something. And I feel like this conflict might have been going on inside you, and I think your family members have noticed that you were always like saying, oh, I want to, but I can't, but I want to, but I can't, but I want to, but I can't. But I feel like this conflict has been resolved somehow, and I think your family members have noticed that you seem more confident now, you seem more like you're not running away from yourself, you're not running away from who you are and what you can do, and you're more ready to show the world what you can do now, and who you are now, and like you're more ready to share yourself. And with the 10 of Wands reversed, I feel like your family sees how you're not overstressing yourself. Maybe you were overstressing yourself in the past, putting on too much of a burden on your shoulders, putting too much of a workload on yourself, expecting too much of yourself all the time, expecting like maybe you were a bit of a workaholic before, like maybe you felt like you always had to be running or doing something, or like if you were sitting still for just a moment, you might have felt like you were doing something wrong, or like you had to always be doing something to keep you busy. And maybe you have found a way to kind of relieve yourself from this urge to always have to do something all the time, that you can now sit still without feeling like there's something that you're doing something wrong, and or like maybe you have also learned to meditate more, or calm down more, and find tranquility, or like that you've been able to sit still and do nothing without feeling feeling like without feeling like it's wrong, and and I think I think your family really likes that about you, that now that it seems like you're a more laid back person, you're more peaceful, you're more happy, you just seem to be really in a good place mentally. And I think your family is just really happy for you and also wants to follow in your footsteps and become more like you. They want to kind of have that same philosophy that you live your life by right now, where you're living more in the moment and really embracing the present, and and seeing how good moments are a currency. Like the most valuable thing we can give each other is time, and I think you're starting to give people in your family more of your time, where before you might have been a bit too busy to give them your time. And I think that is something they have noticed, is that you're more generous with your time now. You're not rushing things, you're actually sitting down, giving people time and having conversations with your family members, long conversations that you would never have had before, because you were always too busy for that. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's all I have for you. Group number 4. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 5. You chose this Tarot del Fuego tarot deck, and I will start with some channeling, and then I will shuffle these cards for you, group number 5. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 5 about what their family is thinking about them? What is group number 5's family thinking about them right now? I am sensing something about that you're a bit of a people pleaser, or that you're saying what people want to hear instead of saying your truth. Maybe some of your family members feel like you're just giving them like stock answers or something, like that it's just lines that you've memorized from a script or something. Like when they ask you like how things are going in your life, or how your life is treating you, or what's going on with you or something, you always answer kind of the same thing, or like the same kind of line, and you might go say the same answer to all of your family members when they ask you. Like it's always the same answer, and it's always kind of like a vague answer that's not really very telling. Like it's not a telling answer. Like it doesn't really say anything. Like they aren't getting they don't really get a lot of knowledge from, like a lot of information. I mean, like it's like you're not sharing a lot of information. Like it's like you're a bit closed off, or your family members just feel like it's hard to get to know you, or it's hard to know if what you're saying is true. And maybe it's because maybe in the past you might have been going through something really difficult, and you might not have said anything to your family members about it. Like you might have kept it secret from them. And so now whenever you say to your family members that you're doing fine, and there's nothing going on in your life that's like worth talking about, because everything is just dandy and sweet and kind, and that life has been kind to you the past the past months and years, and like, and that might just be the truth, like, but it's like they still feel like they aren't really believing you, like they don't really believe in you, because they feel like in the past you have not said the truth to them, like you've not been truthful, you have been secretive about what was actually going on in your life, so they don't really know why they should believe you now when you say everything is good, everything is fine. They don't believe that, because why should they? Because in the past you said the same thing, and then and in the past you were going through something very difficult, and so I feel like your family members are not really believing you, like they don't believe in, like they don't believe that you're telling the truth to them, and they feel like you're and I feel like your family is very sad about it, because they feel like you're not trusting them, you're not sharing things with them that they would really want to know, like they would really not want to know if something difficult was happening in your life. They would want to know so that they could help you, and so they feel like they are being robbed from the opportunity to actually be there for you, because you never really tell them when you need them, and so they are never there when you need them, and so they feel like they are a bit like they are like not an active part of your life, like they don't feel like they have a role in your life, like they could just be gone, and things would just be the same, like they just feel like they have no purpose in your life, because you're not giving them a purpose, you're not allowing them to have a purpose in your life. Like they want to know what they can do for you, they want to know how to actually play a role in your life and actually become not the main character, but become a side character that actually is on the top 10 or something, like of people you confide in, because it seems like your family feels like you're confiding in a lot of other people outside the family, like you're telling all your problems to your friends, maybe even your neighbor might know more about you than your family does, and it seems like your family is a bit, like some of your family members are a bit a bit sad about it, but also just they feel like, why are they not good enough? Like they question themselves, if is it because of something they do? Is it because they are not welcoming enough, or if they are, is it because they are not asking the right questions, or like they feel like maybe they should be doing something more, but they feel like they don't really know what it is that they should be doing, because it's like you have closed off from them, and they don't really seem to have a lot of access to your personal life, and they don't know how to gain access again. So I'm gonna shuffle the cards and see what the cards have to say about what your family thinks of you. I also feel like for some of you, it's the other way around. Like it's like your family is actually the one that cut contact with you, or at least you feel like it's them who, like they were the catalyst that started all these, like like they were the reason why you lost contact with them, or they might even have ended the contact with you for whatever reason, and so you feel maybe a bit neglected by your family, and they feel neglected by you, and it's like they neglected you first, but they don't seem to realize, or they might not remember it that way. Like they remember it as you walking away from them, even though they were the ones who kind of kicked you out or something like that. So, or maybe not directly, but indirectly they kicked you out, and so they created this, but it seems like they lack the self-awareness to actually realize what they did wrong, and so they're just sitting down and asking each other, like, what did we do wrong? What? It's like it's an enigma for them, but it really shouldn't be. Like it's right. Like the answer is right there, but they can't see it. Like they don't really realize what they did. With Four of Wands reversed, I feel like it used to be a fun house, but now it's filled with evil clouds. Is that the text? Like I don't know if that's the lyrics, but it fits this. But because it used to be fun. It used to be like, it seems like your family sees it that way, that it used to get along. Like the family used to get along very nicely, and everybody was so close, and everybody told everybody all their problems, and everybody was telling each other how they felt from the inside of their heart, like all the deep down, from like everybody was just pouring their hearts at each other. And that's like especially I feel like this is especially your parents' view on the family dynamic, is that you used to be this very, very close family, and everybody was just so friendly to each other, and like everybody was just getting along, and then suddenly something happened out of the blue, and everything just changed overnight, and they don't understand what changed. And some of I don't know if this resonates with all of you, but I feel like for some of you, I think some of your family members blame you for it, because they saw you as the glue that tied the family together. But when you kind of closed off from the family, or withdrew from the family, or maybe even moved away from the family, or like geographically moved away, everything changed. Like then everything went to shit when you turned your back on the family or something. Even though I think in your memory of it, I don't think you really resonate with this idea that your parents had of the family dynamic before. Like maybe you don't really see how the family was so great before. Like it was, I don't think you remember a time where everyone just got along nicely, and everybody just told each other everything, and like I don't think, maybe that is more someone's delusion of what happened, or how it was before. Like nostalgia is a powerful drug, and like when nostalgia is out to play, people get really, really, like people start glorifying the past, and like keep wanting the past to like keep wanting the present to be more like the past, even though the past was worse. People just tend to get really nostalgic about certain things. Mostly it's not about the family dynamic usually. It's more like, even though the family dynamic might be glorified by your parents or someone in your family right now, what they are nostalgic about is not the family dynamic in the past. It's just the past that they remember and are mourning, the past that they have lost. The past was is what they want, because the past was back when they were younger, and when things were a bit easier and times were a bit nicer, and like there wasn't a lot of global problems like there are now, and so like the past is just glorified in general, and so we all are nostalgic about the past, and then like sometimes the nostalgia just goes overboard, and like we start getting nostalgic about everything, and believe that everything in the past was actually a lot better than they are now. And I feel like some of your family members are kind of being a target to that spell, like this nostalgia spell that and feels like, oh, that they would just wish that everything was the way it was before in the family, and that before everybody started being so closed off and everybody started looking down their phones, and back when people actually had conversations with it at the dinner table, and now it's so much worse. And like back then people didn't have conversations around the dinner table either. Like then there was just other things that preoccupied people's minds. Like people were just doing other things. Then they were like playing solitaire, or like it wasn't really that different. Reading the newspaper, so how is it different? Maybe not playing solitaire around at the dinner table, but the newspaper at least. That's more, I don't know. I'm gonna shuffle. So yeah, what does your family think of you? What does your family think of you? Group number 5. 2 of Cups reversed. I think your family wants you to find love. So maybe some of you are single, and I feel like your family sees you as a bit isolated and a bit withdrawn, and that you're also withdrawn when it comes to your love life. That you should get out there more, and maybe they also feel like you have some intimacy issues that they feel like has happened. Like maybe they feel like your intimacy issues in your love life is also the reason why you're not intimate, or not intimate in that way, but that you're not being very, like not being personal with them, like not sharing personal details with them, and being kind of closed off and withdrawn and standoffish is because of something in your love life. And so if some of you have had a bad relationship that might have been a bit toxic, or might have been violent or abusive, then your family members might be blaming that for the reason why you have withdrawn or cut contact with your family, that it's because you've been through something with someone you were intimate with, and that is making you have a hard time connecting with your family on a personal level, or on a intimate level. Not intimate, yeah, you know. So I'm gonna shuffle some more cards. And I feel like your family just wants you to start dating again and yeah, I feel like even some of your family members, like, they feel like if you got a boyfriend or a girlfriend again, that you would then open up more to them again through your boyfriend or girlfriend, or maybe that was how it was in the past. Like maybe your family members felt like your last partner, even though it was an abusive relationship, they felt like maybe they got to see you more when you were in a relationship, that it seemed like you came to visit more often or something. But that's specific for some of you. But I'm gonna shuffle some more. So what does group number 5's family think of them? Okay, so with the Knave of Wands reversed, I think this is like, I think your family really I think your family sees you as a victim to something. Like they see you as someone who has been through something really difficult, and maybe they feel like you're not dealing with it in the best way. And I think the reason why they think that way is because they feel like the right way to deal with this is to confide in your family and talk to your family about it and get support from your family. And so they feel like that's the right way to do it, is to come and talk to them. And so they feel like you're not dealing with it in the correct way because you're maybe withdrawing from your family instead of searching for support from your family. So yeah, I feel like your family just really wants you to have more contact with them, tell them more how they can help you. With the 6 of Pentacles, I think your family sees you as someone who is too kind for the world, or but not too kind to them. It's like all your kindness are being used on people outside the family, and so they feel like when you pour out all your kindness to all the people outside the family, you don't have any left for your family. Like they feel like you give so much of yourself to people outside that you don't have any more to give to your family. I don't think that's true. I just feel like your family members are really jealous of the fact that you have other people around you that you confide in and that you talk to instead of them. It's like they want you to prioritize them over. They want you to prioritize the family over your friends, and it's gotten to the point where they actually don't seem to think about your well-being here. Like they don't think like they can't just let you choose your family, your friends over them, because like even if it makes you more happy, even if it's the best thing for you to do, it's like they want you to be miserable with them instead of because it's like, as long as you're with them, as long as you're talking to them, it really doesn't matter how you're feeling about it. It's just the concept of it. It's just very important for them that you make them a priority, like even to the point where it's a bit of an obsessive idea that they have in their mind, that they just want you to come visit more often, they want you to call them more, and they don't really care if it's a bad time, if it's not something you have, even if it's not something you want to do or feel like you have enough energy to do, it doesn't really matter. It's like an obsessive thought that they just want you to, they want you to do more, even though it's actually them who should be doing more for you, but they feel like you have to reach out to them in order for them to help you and support you, and they feel like they can't help and support you unless you kind of reach out, put your hand out to them. It seems like it's because of the fact that you had some conflict with your family, and so they feel like maybe you parted on bad terms, and so they are waiting for you to come and offer peace, come with a peace offering, because if you do that, then they can support you. But if you don't do that, then there will still be this conflict going on, and they feel like you're the only one that can stop the conflict, that it's up to you, or something. But yeah, that's all I have for you, group number 5. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And have a great day, and bye.